Class 12, in the early video we have started with quantitative measures. Quantitative measures is one of the technique by which RBI or central bank controls the credit flow by the commercial banks. Now controls the credit flow means controls the money supply in the hands of the people and affects the aggregate demand created by the people, which in turn affects the producers' price at which they are selling in the market, and thereby solves the problem of inflation or deflation. Now we have already done the bank rate, how it operates, as well as when it is effective to use bank rate. Effectiveness means when its usage is going to create a difference and is going to solve the problem for which the RBI increase or decrease the bank rate. Now the second is OMO. The full form of OMO is open market operations. Now why we call this open market operation? Because it is the only method in which the RBI comes in contact with the general public, and in no other way it ever comes in contact with the public, because you all know RBI serves as a bank to all the commercial banks under it. But for us, our bank is commercial bank, so we are in no way able to connect with RBI. But it is only in this open market operation RBI contacts with the general public as well as the commercial bank. Now what is exactly done here? Here buying and selling of government securities is done. Now what do you mean by buying and selling? How can RBI do this and affect the credit creation? Now see, RBI, if it sells securities, what are securities? It is a kind of a bond, or it's a kind of certificate which if you hold for a certain time period, you earn the principal amount with which you have bought as well as some extra benefit of money, some extra monetary benefit that you get. Suppose I am buying one government security for 100 rupees, and if I keep it for 5 years, I will get 150 rupees. So for getting the extra cash with the principal amount of 100, that is 100 plus 50 in future, I can buy the security. So RBI transacts with general public and commercial banks on the other side, and suppose RBI is selling security. Now when RBI is selling security, of course, if general public like and commercial banks like the security, if it is giving a future monetary payment or advantage, monetary benefit in future, it will buy. So if RBI is selling the security, not necessarily everyone will buy and every commercial bank. If the commercial bank and the general public are convinced that buying the security promises a greater monetary benefit at a later date, they will go for it. So why RBI sells it? Now when you are selling something, on the opposite side what happens? Opposite side, they are purchasing the bonds and securities, and they are making a monetary payment to RBI or to central bank. So I hope you have understood, when RBI sells the securities to the general public and commercial bank, I can also say they are buying it, and buying by making some kind of monetary payment to RBI. That means the money comes under the jurisdiction of central bank and money leaves general public and commercial bank. So these agents are now deficit of money. So just elaborately just see what happens when central bank under open market operation sells securities. It also means it is selling to commercial banks and general public, and the central bank gets hold over their money. So commercial banks, if they are buying the securities, they will have less money to create credit. So credit creation by commercial banks will reduce. Moreover, general public has also bought the securities. So they will themselves, even if they are not taking loan, they will have less money to create demand. So general public also have less money in hand, in addition to reduced credit creation power of commercial bank. Now, if commercial bank creates less credit, that means less loan will be channelized in the economy. Less loan means people's money supply will be reduced. The volume of money supply in the economy will be reduced. Now, when you cannot take loan for easy loans, and can you demand so many things which you thought of acquiring after taking loan? You are not getting loan, or the interest rate is too high. So you will not take loan, not even think about the commodity, and not even create demand. So what will happen? Aggregate demand will fall in the economy. And as demand fall, who are problem by this situation? Who are facing the problem? The producers. They are unable to clear the stock because there is lack of demand. So how to clear the stock? They will reduce the price, because some amount of price reduction will increase some individual or some consumers' demand, and the producers will be able to run down the stock. With this thought, they reduces the price. So RBI has taken, central bank has taken the step of selling security. Why it has taken? Because its aim was to reduce the price. That means its effect after selling of securities by the central bank, the effect is price reduction. The channelized effect, through all these we get price reduction. That means central bank thought that earlier price was so high that it has to be, something has to be done to reduce the price. So that means previously the economy was suffering from the problem of increased price or inflationary pressure, for which it has sold the securities and brought down the price. So what conclusion can we draw? Central banks sell securities in the open market to commercial banks and general public in order to reduce the price and solve the problem of inflation. Likewise, if I take the opposite, that means central bank not only sells, sometimes it also purchases securities from the general public as well as commercial banks. Now, then what happens? Now suppose RBI or central bank purchases securities, purchases government securities from the public as well as the commercial bank. On the other hand, you have commercial bank and general public. So when RBI is purchasing, it means they are getting hold over the bonds or securities, and in return nobody is going to give RBI for free. So RBI is going to make monetary payment. And what happens when monetary payment is done? The central banks now have their more cash stock and the general public. So when central bank engages in purchasing of securities, giving money to the commercials and general public, and in return getting the or buying the securities from them. So the central bank have more money, so central bank's credit creation will increase, as well as general public have more money, means they will create more demand now. They have cash in hand. Now this will increase the total money supply in the economy. Now when money supply is there, when you have money in hand, when we all have money in hand, that is the time we create wish. We want to turn our wish into demand. So when money supply increases in the economy, it gives a boost to the aggregate demand, which tends to rise. Now when demand increases, demand is so high that it goes beyond supply. It is higher than supply. So there is disequilibrium. Demand equals supply is the equilibrium state. Demand is more than supply means producers are having less supply, less stock, but there is more pressure. People are wanting the commodity. There is as if shortage. So the producers will now rise the price and the price will spiral upwards. Why it happens? Because when the price increases, the producers feel some of the demanders will not demand the product at the increased price. So demand will fall and try to adjust itself and bring about equality and go back to the equilibrium position. Demand was too high than the supply. So when price increases, demand becomes less and tries to bring back the equilibrium and equates to supply. So here price increases. That means now you just see central bank purchases securities results in increase of price through this channelized effect. Now why central bank then purchase securities? To of course increase the price. That means price previously was too below. If price falls too below, it will be a problem to the producers because they have a certain profit motive, right? So if price falls too below, it will not urge or provide any incentive to the producers to produce. So the central bank thought in order to keep the market stable, in order to make producers and consumers happy, it does all these things. So it has to increase the price in order to make the producers satiated that they are getting the price of the product. That means previously there was very low price or deflation in the economy, and to correct it and to bring a rise in the price level, central bank purchase the securities. So gist up is central bank regulates the credit flow. Why we are calling regulating credit flow? Because it is affecting both the time whether it sells or purchases. When it purchases, central bank's credit creation ability, loan creation ability goes up. When it sells, central bank's ability goes down. And that's why money supply is affected, demand is affected, price level is affected. So central banks through open market operation link up with the general public and commercial bank. They either buy or sell in order to solve the problem of deflation or inflation, and does it accordingly. When there is deflation, they will try to purchase securities. When there is inflation, to bring stability, they will sell securities and create a difference in the credit creation power of the commercial banks. So we are done with OMO. Now policy effectiveness of OMO. Now what do you mean by policy effectiveness? Suppose RBI is purchasing or selling shares in open market operations. Why? To solve the problem of inflation or deflation. But sometimes it can be so that RBI has taken step in order to reduce inflation or deflation, but it is not effective. That means the result is not coming for which RBI has initiated the operation. Suppose I am studying, but in the exam I am not able to secure the pass marks or what I thought of getting. Suppose 80%. I am not able to. That means my trying is not effective to get me the ultimate result which I wanted. Similarly, RBI can, through open market operation, it can purchase shares, it can sell shares, and it can affect the money supply and solve the problem of inflation or deflation. But always, whatever RBI policy it is taking, it might not be able to give the desired result. So, what do you mean by policy effectiveness? That is, when WAMO or any other measure it can be, when it is working in a way so as it solves the problem. These are all taken up by RBI to solve the problem. So it is also working in a way as if it is working in a way that it solves the problem. So we can call the policy was effective to bring the solution. And when the policy is ineffective, it means after taking the measures, it was not able to solve the problem. So now, when the policy will be effective? Number one, that means RBI, it is selling securities Selling securities means it is taking money away from commercial banks and general public. Taking away money means there will be less of demand and the price will go down. So, in order to reduce price, that means price was very high. So, for reducing the price, RBI has taken this step. That means RBI sells securities to solve the problem of inflation, and RBI purchases securities to solve the problem of deflation. But when these policies, that is selling or purchasing, will actually give the desired result of reducing inflation or deflation. Number one, well-developed government securities market. Bond market, share market, capital market. If it is not developed, if people don't know about government bonds, will they buy? If they don't know what is the benefit of holding these bonds, will they buy? Or if it is not so popular, okay, certain policies, certain bank government securities are not that popular. So if they are not popular enough, then people might not buy. Commercial banks might not buy these bonds. So that is why it is said you need a well-developed government securities market. Means the securities are very popular, people knows about all these securities and what are the benefits of holding it, and they want to acquire these securities in return of payment. So you need a well-developed government securities market. Otherwise what will happen? Otherwise, suppose RBI wants to sell securities to reduce the problem of inflation. But whom to sell if nobody is craving for the security? Nobody is wanting to buy the security. It cannot force, and it can only, RBI can only force commercial banks to buy, because RBI is the father of commercial bank. But it cannot force general public, it cannot force other, that is non-banking institutions to buy the securities because it wants to solve the problem of inflation. Because the government securities are not that popular or popularized, people are not aware of the such securities. So you need a well-developed securities market, then only RBI can sell such securities in the market and get the desired result. Number two, no restriction in holding securities. That means suppose RBI wants to sell securities and get money in return, take money away from the economy in return. So when it wants to sell securities, and if you impose restriction that you cannot buy more than 2 securities, then what will happen? RBI cannot sell all the securities because people have restriction, or commercial banks have restrictions of holding securities. So can you sell all the securities? Can RBI sell, central bank sell all the securities and get the desired result to reduce the problem of inflation? No. So there should be no restriction in holding securities, means RBI can sell according to the requirement of people. Someone may want more shares, so they have no restriction to hold, and RBI is willing to sell. Then only the desired result can be obtained. Number 3, bank rate is penal. Penal means very high. Now you all have done, when I was discussing bank rate, what is bank rate? When commercial banks take loan from RBI, when commercial banks, they are taking loans from RBI, they have to pay an interest, that is only known as bank rate. Now if the bank rate is too high, what will happen? Central bank, commercial banks just act like normal public. When the interest rate is very high, do we take loan that time? No, because we have to give the principal, whatever loan we have taken, as well as much more money we have to just give as interest. So commercial banks also act accordingly. If they are taking loan from RBI and if the bank rate is very high, that means when commercial banks will be returning not only the principal amount, they have to pay a very high interest amount. So commercial banks will not take loan from RBI during this situation. And if commercial banks don't take loan, the commercial bank's credit creation will be reduced. But if they have enough government securities, they can sell at least the securities to RBI and it can acquire the cash. So buying and selling means once they bought it by giving cash, and once they are selling it and getting cash. Getting cash will enable the commercial banks to create loan. So in this case, that is when the bank rate is too high, the commercial banks, if they take loan from RBI, they have to pay a very high interest rate, and that situation is very much discouraging. So commercial banks will not take loan from RBI and their credit creation power will reduce. They will be able to give less credit in the economy. Their earning will be hampered. So if there is a other way out, if they can sell securities to RBI or in the market, they can acquire cash and then use that for creating loan, and then their earning will not be hampered. So if bank rate is too high, then commercial banks are encouraged to purchase the securities so that if situation arrives, they can sell and get cash and create further loans. Number 4, cooperation of central bank with NBFC. What do you mean by NBFC? Non-banking financial institutions. Now, non-banking financial institutions means insurance company, you have post offices. What happens? They at least don't have one of the feature of bank. Now, bank, whom we call bank, who accepts deposit, creates loan, earns interest income, and the depositors can withdraw their money anytime they want. But non-banking financial institutions are such that they might take deposit, they might give loan, but one of the criteria, that is depositors cannot withdraw. So it is not a bank. Suppose they are accepting deposit but not giving out loan. So can you call that bank? No. So these are all known as NBFCs, non-banking financial institutions, which have some of the features of bank but lack some. And central bank technically cannot control NBFC because it is only the father of commercial banks. It has nothing to do, no work of NBFC is under the jurisdiction of central bank. So central bank can force the commercial banks to buy security or to sell security. But if the central bank wishes to sell security, can it sell it to NBFC by force? No, because it is not the father of NBFC. It is not the apex body of NBFC. So only if cooperation exists and if central bank is able to tell why it wants to sell securities and welcomes NBFC to purchase, even they if understand the importance of this central bank's policy, then only whatever central bank wants to sell, NBFCs will purchase, and the ultimate solution to reducing inflation can be achieved. So there should be a cooperation. Even if central bank is not ruling body of NBFC, there has to be some kind of cooperation so that whenever central bank wishes to take any policy to reduce the economic problem, the NBFCs cooperate with it, and all these if possible, then only whatever central bank exercises, the policies will turn out to be effective. But when it will be ineffective, just the opposite. If the securities market are not developed, people don't know, they will not buy, they will not sell. If they don't buy, they don't have to sell. So no restriction in holding security here. If there is restriction in holding security, what will happen? Central bank wants to sell, but there is restriction. One people, even if he wishes to buy 5 securities, he cannot. There is limitation. General public individuals can have only 2, can hold up to 2 bonds. So that time also central bank fails to sell and solve the problem of inflation. Bank rate is penal. If the bank rate is not penal, then this policy will be ineffective. Why? If the bank rate is less, that means central bank can take loan and create loan in the economy easily because they have to pay less interest payment. So they will take loan from RBI and create loan. So they don't need any bypass to get cash and create loan. So there will be no question about being able to sell securities in the market and getting cash to create loan. They already have easy way of getting money from central bank and influence the credit creation in the economy. And here for policy effectiveness you need cooperation. But if there is incooperation, there is no cooperation between central bank and NBFC, for what central bank is trying to sell the securities, NBFCs don't bother and they will also not cooperate. So central bank fails at achieving the desired result through the policy mechanism.